Hey everyone, and welcome back to my Gym Leader Challenge series, where I play through Pokemon Fire Red as a gym leader and see how long it takes to finish the game. I won't use items in battle, I'll be playing on set mode to make it slightly harder. I'll allow evolving Pokemon beyond the stages that the gym leader uses, so the earlier gym leaders aren't at such a disadvantage. And finally, I'll be playing at 4 times speed and ranking the leaders based on real time spent completing the game, amongst other metrics. This episode will be playing as Koga, the bane of every trainer's life, spamming evasion and poison moves to slowly bring you down whilst they dodge every attack. Well, now it's my turn. I mentioned in the Misty video that my biggest issue with most gym leaders is duplicate Pokemon, and Koga is taking the mick. 1 Muck and 3 Pokemon from the Coughing line. I guess Giovanni claimed the Nidos, and Agatha had the Arbok, Golbat and Ghosts, but still, Koga could have at least had a Beedrill or a Tentacruel or something, not just an endless bombardment of balls and blobs. Oh well, let's see how we get on. The stats of these Pokemon are actually really good. Muck's stat total of 500 puts it on par with Alakazam and Gengar. At the cost of being quite slow, they're relatively tanky and heavy hitting. My main concern is that these Pokemon appear quite late in the game, so this may be a solo challenge for quite a while. And as a final note, you may have realised there's no story or voice acting for this one. Koga and Sabrina will be regular runs, and then Blaine should hopefully knock your socks off. Alright, let's give this a go. I replaced Bulbasaur with Grimer, who we named Park, and our rival chooses Charmander. I swapped Bulbasaur because he and Grimer share a poison typing. After defeating our rival, Antidote, we set our sights on Brock. Unfortunately, Park only has access to normal and poison damaging moves by level up, and Brock's Pokemon resist and double resist those respectively. After an early failure against the Light Years trainer, we grind against some wild Pokemon. Wild Pokemon seem unwilling to encounter us, and it's now that I realise Grimer's ability is Stench, which reduces wild encounter rates by 50%. I'll be grateful for that by the end, but for now it's a pain. With some extra experience, I'm back at Brock. Park poisons Geodude, then both Pokemon begin racing to see who can get hardest the fastest, as poison slowly brings down the Geodude. Clearly Brock used all his full heals in Generation 1 and he's ran out now. We level up and learn Sludge, and proceed to poison the Onix and bring him down with double resisted Sludges, as Onix's moves are not doing that much to our max defense blob. We're now in Cerulean, and still soloing. Time to give Antidote another battering. We do good damage to the Pidgeotto with a Sludge, but not before the bugger lets off a Sand Attack. We finish it off with a Pound, but geez, can I just say, accuracy manipulation is the worst goddamn thing this game has, and I think anyone who uses it should take a good hard look at themselves in the mirror. But anyway, we level up, learn Minimize, and then spam it against the Abra as it can't attack. Maxing out our evasion, then overcoming the sand in our eyes to bring down the rest of the enemies with Sludges. Onto Misty. The Staryu goes down to a single Sludge, and then Starmie confuses us and we end up going down to Water Pulses. Let's go again, but this time let's shrink. We get 1 Minimize off and defeat the Staryu. Then Starmie misses its Water Pulse, and a critical Sludge wins us the Cascade Badge. Time for a cruise. Antidote demands we either fight him or draw him like one of our French girls. So we fight him. No opportunity for Sand Attack this time, 1 Sludge dissolves the Pidgeotto. Kadabra misses his Disable and a Sludge ruins him too. Another one for the Rat, and despite some cheeky smoke screening from the Charmeleon, he goes down too. We leave Antidote to scoop up the liquid remains of his Raticate, and it's on to Surge. Thankfully outside Cerulean we got the ultimate move for Surge's gym, and that's Dig. 1 dig for the Voltorb, another one for the Pikachu, although his static paralyzes us from beyond the grave. Raichu decides to keep the theme of this episode going and starts spamming double teams, but eventually Park is able to make it through the paralysis and evasion and lands the dig for the win. We then stumble through the dark of Rock Tunnel, ever grateful for Park's ungodly stench, keeping the wild Pokemon at bay. After doing some errands in Saladon, we bully an introvert into giving us the HM for Fly, and then we're faced with the hardest challenge of playing Gen 3 at 4 times speed. Trying to select the goddamn fly location. Arrgh. And we're off to the Pokemon Tower, and Antidote is back again. Koga asks him how his Raticate's doing, and Antidote lashes out in a fit of rage. But even the love of his eroded Raticate can't help him against the massively overleveled Park. We sweep the team with a mixture of returns and Sludges. Koga needs some new teammates ASAP. Koffings live in the Pokemon Mansion on Cinnabar Island, but we need Surf to get there. We grab Surf from the Safari Zone, and now we need to defeat our doppelganger in order to use it. Whilst battling the goons in Koga's gym, Park reaches level 43 and learns Sludge Bomb, the strongest poison move available to him. This is what we've been delaying his evolution for, and so we finally allow him to become who he was always meant to be, which coincidentally is the form I've started to take since getting married. A resisted Sludge Bomb and a return defeat the first coughing. Thankfully Muck doesn't have Levitate, so we can use Dig against him as he minimizes. We switch to return to finish him off, so we don't give him any extra turns to increase his evasion. Another return for the next coughing, and finally it's big defensive wheezing. It takes a while with Smokescreen and Hyper Potions, but we're eventually able to take the wheezing down with returns. With that, we can finally surf and complete our team. Allow me to introduce you to Let Me, Clear My, and Throat.
Let me clear my throat.
With our team assembled, we can proceed with the story, and hopefully have an opportunity to train the coughings up. The women in Erica's gym begin to cough and gag as the stench train choo-choos through their front door. We're off to a great start, as a half-dead Throat comes out to face Erica's Victory Bell, who defeats him with a single Giga Drain. Clear My gets paralysed, and so lets Big Papa Park handle the scary plant, demolishing the Victory Bell with a Sludge Bomb. Let Me is out to face the Tangler, but he'd ran out of sludges at this point, so he had no choice but to blow up. Finally, it's the paralysed Clear My v Vileplume. But Paralysis and Erica's healing get the better of him, and Park has to come out to clean up the coughing's mess. The team level normalization is not going well. Maybe a battle with Antidote will help train the coughings up. It's not a good opening as Throat tries to lower Pidgeot's accuracy despite the bird having the Keen Eye ability. We do a bit of damage with the Sludge, but 2 wing attacks have brought us low, and then a quick attack finishes Throat off. Clear My is out next. He's able to poison the bird and get it down low, and then switches into Let Me for the kill shot with Shockwave. There we go. It took almost all 3 coughings to defeat one of Antidote's Pokemon. Oh dear. Execute is then able to wreck our 2 living coughings with super effective confusions, and it's all up to our overleveled monster Park to wreck shop again. I return for Execute, a Sludge Bomb for Alakazam, 2 Sludge Bombs for Gyarados, and 2 more for Charizard. Park, we could not do this without you. Literally. Our team needs a win, something easy. Poison Pokemon like Psychic types, right? Let Me, Clear My, Throat are all taken down swiftly, only managing to bring Kadabra down with them. Park is then able to finish the rest of Sabrina's team with Sludge Bombs and returns. I'm sensing a pattern here. Blaine is next. We immediately switch to Park to share some experience around the team. Clear My wants to learn Haze, and being Sunbone with no forward thinking, I quickly dismiss that. I wonder if that'll come back to bite me. Ponyta and Rapidash go down to a Sludge Bomb and a Dig, and finally it's Arcanine. The Intimidate cuts our attack, and so Dig is doing less than half. Finally, the true use of our coughings is revealed. They can be switched in to remove Park's stat drops, and they can waste the enemy's power points. So now with no attack drop, and with Arcanine out of Fire Blasts, Park can finish the dog off with another Dig. The final gym leader is Giovanni. His poison and ground types will resist our poison moves, so this might be tricky. Let Me spams smoke screens against the Rhyhorn. After being taken down low, we switch into Park to finish it off with his newly taught Giga Drain. Dugtrio goes the same way, with Nidoqueen and Nidoking going down soon after to returns. I'd like to be switch training the coughings here, but I don't trust them to survive against any of these Pokemon. With Giovanni's last Rhyhorn, I risk the switch into Clear My, as the Rhino goes for an ineffective Earthquake thanks to Levitate. We're then able to unleash all of our smokescreens and do pitiful damage with a resisted Sludge. Throat is our last healthy coughing who comes out and burns Rhyhorn with a Fire Blast. Thank you, Blaine. With reduced accuracy and half attack from the burn, Rhyhorn isn't much of a threat, so Throat can start bringing him down. Annoyingly, it takes a while, partially due to how low level these coughings are, and also because of Giovanni's relentless healing. It took forever, but Koga finally manages to get the Earth Badge. One last trainer to fight before the Elite Four now, Antidote. Let Me is able to do a shocking amount of damage with Shockwave, whilst taking lots in return from Wing Attack. We switch into Park to show the team how it's done, defeating Pidgeot with a Sludge Bomb and a return. 1 Sludge Bomb for Alakazam, and a Giga Drain for Rhyhorn. We switch into Let Me to remove the attack drop from Park, and he is washed away with a Rain Dance boosted Hydro Pump. Not wanting to waste the opportunity to give Coughing some experience, we send out Clear My, who immediately pivots to Park, where 3 returns get the job done. Charizard does great damage with 2 Flamethrowers, and 2 Sludge Bombs are able to defeat the Lizard. Execute is last, and I think Coughing should be able to handle this, Throat gets paralysed and brought low, but returns the favour and poisons the eggs. Clear Mai is then switched in, which wasn't entirely necessary, as poison damage finishes the execute off. While slogging through Victory Road, Clear Mai evolves into a Weezing, and his brothers follow soon afterwards. Okay, we've trained up, our team is fully evolved, let's give Lorelei a go. Park is able to defeat the Dugong with a Giga Drain and a Sludge Bomb. Cloister goes down too, but not after wasting all of our Giga Drain power points with Protect. A few more Sludge Bombs for the Slowbro. We get the Lapras down low, but Park is taken out by a Surf. The Weezing gang comes out, and one by one they're outspared and one-shot. Time for a grind. We're back 10 minutes later. The early fight goes much the same, only now Park has made it past Cloister with 4 Giga Drains remaining. Slowbro's attack and constant hail damage get Park low, as we move on to the Lapras. We then start lobbing Weezings at Lapras, in the hopes that one survives long enough to smokescreen. Eventually, Let Me gets lucky as Lapras goes for a Confuse Ray instead of an attack, and our poison and smokescreen bombardment can begin. Let Me eventually goes down, but has gotten the Lapras down low enough that one hit from Park finishes it off, whilst being brought down low himself to just 10 HP after spikes. Lorelei's final Pokemon is Jinx, who thankfully we outspeed and one-shot with a Sludge Bomb. There's been somewhat of a time jump, and I'm not the man I once was. Gone is the desire to level up these worthless balls of gas. If this was a solo challenge with Muck, I'd have finished half an hour ago, I'm sure of it. But let's get this over and done with. 2 Giga Drains for Bruno's 2 Onyxes, a Sludge Bomb and a return for the Hitmons, and 2 returns for the Machamp. Alright Agatha, you awful witch. Park is eventually able to take out the first Gengar with Rock Tombs, despite the double team spam. Haunter locks us into battle and takes a rock to the face and then kills itself. We're free from Mean Lock and Curses doing damage, so we switch into Let Me for the second Gengar. We then spam Smokescreen as our Weezing is taken down with Shadow Balls. Clear Mai finishes what his brother started and unleashes 4 more Smokescreens at the Gengar. Sludge is doing frighteningly little to the Poison Ghost Pokemon, and Gengar manages to squint through the smoke just long enough to take Clear Mai out. Throat is out next. At this point, I hate Weezing so much I just like watching them die. Godspeed, Throat. Park now comfortably struts out against the blind, weakened Ghost. We land a Rock Tomb, getting Gengar into healing range. We do a bit of damage with a Sludge Bomb, miss a Rock Tomb, we're asleep, we're in a nightmare. Oh Jesus, not like this. And we're back. This fight starts off much the same as the last one. Gengar and Haunter go down to Park's Rock Tombs, we switch into Let Me for the Smokescreen spam against the second Gengar, and once his destiny has been fulfilled, Park comes out to defeat the blind Ghost with Rock Tombs and a Sludge Bomb. Golbat gets taken down to a Sliver and manages to confuse us. I've not made it this far to lose to a coin flip, so we switch out to a Patsy. A Weezing. Clear Mai is able to do absolutely nothing as Agatha heals and the Golbat takes us down with Air Cutters and Confusion tactics. Park is out and a Rock Tomb brings Golbat down to a Sliver, as she manages to confuse us. Anyone else getting deja vu? We switch into Throat, who thankfully is able to survive long enough to finish the bat off with a Fire Blast. Agatha's final Pokemon is Arbok. Throat tanks the Intimidate and dies to a Bite. Our full health, no stat dropped Park is then able to crush the snake with 2 returns. Like an idiot, I lead Park against Lance's Gyarados, drinking in that sweet attack drop for my main physical attacker. I'm not punished too badly as 2 Sludge Bombs finish the Water Snake. For Aerodactyl, I switch into Let Me, who does his job like a pro, wasting one of Aerodactyl's Hyper Beam power points. On the recharge turn, Clear Mai is able to begin the Smokescreen assault, but 2 Ancient Powers put a stop to that. Throat wastes more of the dinosaur's power points and it's on to Park to sweep the rest of the team. A Rock Tomb and a Sludge Bomb finish Aerodactyl off. Our last Rock Tomb is then able to crit and defeat the Dragonite. And then 3 returns for the Dragonairs as one of them heals. Well, again, Lance is a lot easier to handle than Agatha. Onto the champion. I reluctantly revive the Weezings as maybe I'll need some cannon fodder. Park gets the Pidgeot down low as we take a Sand Attack. Wanting to shake off the accuracy drop, we switch into Let Me as Antidote heals. As these Weezings are only good for blowing up or reducing accuracy, and we can't reduce Pidgeot's accuracy, self-destruct it is. However, we get absolutely schooled as Pidgeot outspeeds, Sand Attacks us, and we miss our self-destruct. Clear Mai lands his self-destruct, bringing the bird to half, and Park finishes the job with a Sludge Bomb. 1 Sludge Bomb for Alakazam, 1 Sludge Bomb for Exeggutor, 1 Giga Drain for Rhydon, 2 Rock Tombs for Gyarados, and we're onto the Charizard. This has gone perfectly. We switch into Throat to eat a Fire Blast, and so Park no longer has the attack drop. Park gets burnt, misses a Rock Tomb. Uh-oh. We miss a second Rock Tomb, and a third, and Antidote has cured us. But have no fear, we're back. We're a new variant, and I'm sure Antidote will be ineffective against us now. No dilly-dallying. A critical Sludge Bomb melts the Pidgeot. Alakazam sets up a Reflect and does good damage with a Psychic, but returns finish him off too. Executor survives the Sludge Bomb thanks to the Reflect and puts us to sleep. Antidote heals the tree, and he begins chipping us down with Egg Bombs. Finally, Reflect wears off, we wake up, and a Return and a Sludge Bomb get the kill. Just when we need health the most, Rhydon comes out and offers himself to us. Park slips away, getting his health back up to the green. Gyarados goes down to 3 Rock Tombs. It's Charizard time again. Let me clear my throat, all go down to a Fire Blast each. I couldn't resist an opportunity to see them suffer one last time. And our boy Park is out. Fire Blast brings us to 14 HP, but our Rock Tomb connects and one-shots the champ. Koga's done it. I paused the timer when we entered into the Hall of Fame, and Koga gets a real-world time of 3 hours, 30 minutes, and 5 seconds. I was really impressed with Muck. A massive tank, really heavy hitting, and a pretty diverse move pool. Alas, if only this was a solo run channel. Looking at Koga's team as a whole, the 3 Weezings were just useless. Maybe if I had access to them earlier things would be different, because if you start off with a big level difference, it's hard to close the gap. I felt like Tangela was the last minute add-on for Erika, and this is the same, but times 3. And so despite the fact that Koga managed to beat the game 18 minutes faster than Erika, and 45 minutes faster than Surge, using our formula that takes into account time, number of Pokemon, the difference between highest and lowest level Pokemon, and the average level, Koga ends up dead last. Thanks a lot for watching. Please join me next time where we'll be warping minds with Sabrina. See ya!